Hey everyone! Are you on the fence about playing Pantheon Rise of the Fallen? Well, in this beginner's guide, I'll walk you through the first steps from character creation to early game tips so you can start off your journey right. Let's jump in. When you launch Pantheon Rise of the Fallen for the first time, the first thing that you're going to have to decide is what server to play on. Now, servers can have multiple shards, and the character you create can be played on just that server, but any shard of that server. Servers with multiple shards tend to be more populated, while servers with fewer or even just one shard tend to be quieter. Personally, I prefer more populated servers because I can group easily on shard 0 or switch to shard 1 when I want a quieter experience for solo play. So I've been playing on the Avos server. For me, having a green level population right now is a decent amount of people for finding groups. And if I want a quiet time, I can switch over to the blue level shard. You can see this, they're both the Avos server. This one is shard 0. This one is shard 1. Black Moon has 3 because that's the most populated server. And most other servers only have the 1 shard. Let's pick Avos 1 and get started. Here you see I have a couple of characters created already on this account, but let's go ahead and create a new one. Go ahead and click create, and the first choice you'll have to make is your race. Your race affects your starting stats, your starting location, and available class options. And for example, humans can play every class. I'll include a full breakdown of race class combinations in the video description. Currently, Pantheon has 3 starting cities. Availia, which is in Thronefast, which is home to the humans and the dwarfs. The Barrowdark, which is also in Thronefast, which is home to ogres, murs, and all necromancers. And Wild's End, which is home to the halflings and the elves. More races will eventually be added, and your race choice can significantly affect your early grouping opportunities. Thronefast has 2 of the 3 starting areas, so it tends to be busier. I'm going to pick human so I can easily find groups. After picking your race, you will then select your class. So here's a quick overview of your classes. Humans can be them all, so this is the full list. Tank classes are the Warrior, Paladin, and Dire Lord. Every group needs 1 tank. Healer classes are the Cleric, Shaman, and Druid. Every group needs 1 healer. The sword classes are Enchanter and eventually Bard when it's added. That's the next class that we know is coming. Those are support classes. You don't really need 1 in every group, but they're very useful and most groups want 1. And then you fill the rest of the group out with damage, which is everybody else in this list. I'm going to be choosing Enchanter because I want to provide the mana regeneration buffs and do crowd control. And then we're almost done with character creation. Just a couple more steps. First is attributes. You have 2 attribute points to place, and you can place them manually if you'd like, or you can just hit auto distribute, which will put them into the recommended stat for the character from the creators. That's what I'm going to do. Then you need to name your character. The name does need to be unique on your server. To get some ideas, you can generate a name. I've generated a name off to the side. Hopefully it's free. And then we can choose appearance, where you can select between a few hairstyles, a few different facial hairstyles, and then different hair colors. There are more coming eventually, but it's currently pretty limited. Then you hit create. My name was available. My character has been created. Now that we've created our character, let's log in and go through the first steps you need to do on a new character. I'm gonna click enter world. It's gonna log me in. You will log in near your trainer. Your trainer has your traits, which these are free, and you can add a trait every 5 levels just by picking this up from your trait vendor and right-clicking on your inventory. You don't need to do any of those right away. And then there's your scroll vendor. These are all your abilities. Now you will start with some already in your inventory. All your level 1 skills should already be in your inventory, and you just right click on them and that'll add them to your spell book. See that you're learning the ability scroll. All of these windows are draggable to put them in the right where you want them. Just right click on all of your ability scrolls. Now that you've learned your abilities, it's time to put them on your bar. You can hit B to open your spell book, and you can just right click on your abilities and that will put them on your bar. Let's look at what these do. So Fixate is your first level Mesmerize. So that's for crowd control on this particular character. Cranial Pressure is a damage over time. And you can see this one scales off of Int and Charisma. So either Int or Charisma will make this spell more powerful. And Flux, which is a direct damage spell, also scales off in Charisma. Brain Shock, we started with automatically. That's your first technique. You can see that this has no casting cost, and it's an instant spell. Most classes get something that doesn't cost anything, so you always have something you can do. You also in your inventory have started with a Mysterious Letter. If you right click on that, that will give you your first quest, and it's for trade skills. So let's go ahead and accept that, and let's run back to town. It's a little bit more of a run for the caster classes in Availia, because the caster classes start in kind of their own little area. I'm gonna pull open the map quick. So this is the map on a site called Shalazam. It's very helpful. This is the city of Availia. Most classes start within the city somewhere, but casters start way up here. It looks like it's really far away, but I just need to run to this square, and that's a teleportation to this square. So it's not that far away. So let's run to the town square. All right, so I followed all the main roads to get here. Once you're more familiar with the area, there are little shortcuts, little ledges you can jump off of to skip some running and stuff like that that you can do. But I followed all the main roads so that you it's easier not to get lost, because when you're first figuring this out, it's pretty easy to get lost. So this is the main square of Availia. And wouldn't you know it, if I open my quest log by hitting J, Foreman Aldius is the first person I need to talk to, and he's right here. So let's just talk to him. When you talk to a NPC, any quests that you have will show up on the left. Let's just complete that quest. And that is learning my gathering skills. And I'm just going to go ahead and accept every quest that he's got. And some of these will auto-complete. And you can read all these to get more information. So this one that's completing, and this one for salvaging will auto-complete, and those will give you some rewards. You will have from all of that a mining pick, a harvesting sickle, a woodcutting hatchet, a skinning knife, and a salvaging tool. Now, those don't go on your normal character sheet. They go on the Professions tab. But you don't have to go to the Professions tab to equip it. You can just right click them. I'm just going to right click all these, then you'll see they've been equipped on my Professions tab. These 2 coins are for choosing your trade skills. Do not delete these. If you delete them, your character will not be able to choose any trade skills. So until you know what you're going to do with that character, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to the bank, which is behind, right behind the guy. Talk to a banker. I'm just going to throw this stuff in the bank for now. Also, you do have 5 bag slots. If you hit O, that'll open all your bags. And then you can drag these around as well. I'm going to put my food and drink in the bag because I don't really need those right now. Your food and drink bar is above here. They go down very slowly, so you don't need to worry about it too much. They will start to flash when you do need to worry about it. So now that we've done this, there's really not much else to do. Let's go pick up an additional quest, and then let's go kill a mob. So if you follow the road, we're going to go to the ranger starting area. So if you're a ranger, you could pick this up right away. But everybody else will need to run there. I'm just going to follow the roads again to get there. And then we have to kind of go off-road right here, straight to the ranger area. And we're going to talk to the huntress right here. When you talk to the huntress, you notice how there really isn't any indicator that she has a quest for us. The game doesn't currently have any way of indicating that NPC has a quest. If you want to find out if an NPC has a quest, you go talk to him. I know this one has a quest that everyone can do, so I'm going to go pick it up. It's the Night Warden. We need to find some ghost vipers at night. So that's another thing this game does, is the mobs that spawn at night can be different and often harder than the mobs during the day. A couple levels higher, maybe mobs that have a couple more abilities. But let's go fight some stuff. It is not currently night, but it looks like it is close. So we'll see. We're actually going to head kind of back towards where the wizard area was, and then we're going to go off-road here, and this is the area that I would recommend killing stuff until you're about level 5. So right here, so we came down that road on our way to the city from being a wizard. The wizard starting area is through you can kind of see right up there, the building. So down here, there's some low-level NPCs. To find out if you should fight this mob, you can hit C. I can see that it's indifferent to me, so it's not going to attack me automatically, and it cons as white to me, so it is the same level. That is a level 1 mob. The small rat, also level 1. This emerald leaf is at least level 2. It might be level 3. There's usually a couple levels where it's yellow, goes even higher, becomes orange. Those ones would be very difficult to fight. Yellows, most people can do, especially early on. And then orange are more difficult. Red are almost impossible. So this is a snake, but if we look at my journal, Night Warden needs a ghost viper. And this is where the snakes spawn during the day, and at night these would be ghost vipers. Or could be ghost vipers. I'm gonna keep running around and we'll look for another mob type. Right here, Forest Forager. This is what I'd recommend fighting at first on your first character. So I'm gonna throw my dot on this and I'm gonna start casting on it. I'm just gonna keep casting on it as much as I can. Hopefully I kill him before he kills me. And he's died. And I'm gonna loot him. Ooh, he had a piece of gear. So I'm gonna take all this gear. And instead of having 1 armor, I now have 4 armor on my pants. These pants you can see on the upper right say no trade. That means you cannot sell it and you cannot give it to other players. So I'm just going to delete it because I don't need it anymore. So that's another tip, is fight enemies that are humanoid, because they have a chance to drop gear. But even better than that early on, bags. So I'm going to fight another one. I'm going to con him again. He's yellow. And oh, this is a bag of scraps. Not a bag that I can use. Now that I'm low on health and mana, I want to regen that faster. Hit X to sit. You will regen faster. Anything that says material is something that's used for crafting in some manner. Anything that says general is usually safe to vendor. There are a few, and once you know what they are, you can kind of keep an eye out for them that are for quests. But in general, if it says general, you can sell it pretty safely. And even in the beginning, when you don't have a lot of money, selling even the materials just to vendors if nobody needs them and there's nobody asking for them. Just vendor them to get the money to pay for your spells. That's the most important thing. I would personally keep killing things around here till you're about level 5. Every couple of levels, run back and buy your new spells. You'll feel much more powerful. And then keep killing these things till level 5. Trying to do the foragers during the day and the skeletons at night, because those both drop direct money. Here's a skeleton that's still up from the night. They both drop direct money and can drop gear, which could be useful for you. And that's the starting bit of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Once you get used to it, it's actually pretty straightforward to get started and get going. Because most gear doesn't bind to your character, once you've done your first character, you might get some gear for another character that you may want to give to that character. You have to find somebody to help you trade because there isn't a shared bank, but people are often willing to help you transfer items between your characters, and then you can have a much quicker and more powerful start on a second character. Beyond that, just keep going. Eventually, you'll decide what trade skills you want. For your first character, I would recommend tailoring and carpentry, because tailoring makes bags so that you can have more bag space, and carpentry makes bank boxes so you can have more bank space. Bank boxes are effectively bags that are only usable in your bank. I will have some guides in the future about each of the trade skills, so you can have a better informed decision of what other trade skills you may want to do. And that's it for this guide on how to get started in Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Did I miss anything a new player should know? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, don't forget to check me out live on Twitch for more Pantheon content. Later this week, I will be playing Path of Exile 2's 0.2 patch when it goes live. I plan to make some videos about Path of Exile 2, but don't worry, I will also keep making Pantheon videos. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.